Looking for a thrilling experience from a classic TV movie? Picture this: a man driving through the desert finds himself relentlessly pursued by a mysterious tanker truck driver. The tension rises as he fights for survival in a gripping battle of wits and nerve. In this movie, there are moments that will keep you glued to your seat. You'll encounter surprises and emotions that will stay with you long after the credits roll. What stood out to you the most? Was there a character or scene that left a lasting impression? So, if you're up for a suspenseful ride with unexpected twists, don't miss out. Keep watching to uncover the surprises this TV movie has in store for you. In 1971, a TV movie called Duel aired, gripping audiences with its intense storyline. Directed by Steven Spielberg, Duel marked his debut in the director's chair and set the stage for his legendary career. This thriller, set in the early 70s, follows a tense battle between a man driving a sedan and a mysterious truck driver. As the sedan driver finds himself relentlessly pursued by the truck, tension mounts, making every moment a nail-biting experience. Duel's significance lies in its ability to captivate viewers with its simple yet gripping plot and showcase Spielberg's talent even in his early career. It's a timeless classic that still resonates with audiences today, showcasing the power of suspense and storytelling on the small screen. In the early driving scenes, Duel features a prank call to the Census Bureau on the radio. The DJ behind the call is Sweet Dick Whittington, a legendary Los Angeles radio personality. The call revolves around the theme of lost masculinity, a central aspect of the story. Throughout the movie, Mann, the main character, exhibits athleticism, especially during foot chases. This athleticism stems from Dennis Weaver's background as a track and field athlete, having placed sixth in the 1948 Olympic trials in the decathlon. Instead of storyboarding, Steven Spielberg and his team crafted a huge aerial perspective map of the road. This detailed map, covering all four walls of Spielberg's Palmdale motel room, marks specific incidents and camera placements. In a pivotal scene at Chuck's Cafe, he employs a signature technique inspired by directors Orson Welles and Alfred Hitchcock. The sequence unfolds seamlessly as David Mann navigates through the cafe restroom and back to the dining area, all captured in a single continuous take lasting 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Spielberg's adept use of this technique amplifies tension, a hallmark scene in his subsequent films. The film inspired a board game by Parker Brothers, though it struggled in sales, leading to scarcity of remaining copies. Interestingly, Dustin Hoffman was once considered for the role of David Mann. In the making of a famous movie, there were some interesting stories about how actors were chosen. One actor was asked to play the main role, but said no. Another actor, who played a smaller part, asked the director about his character's feelings, and the director gave a rough description. The actor liked the challenge and agreed to do it. The director also thought about casting another actor for different roles in 2 movies. In the end, the teamwork between the actors and director made the movie special. It's a good example of how everyone working together can make something great. Set against the backdrop of sprawling landscapes, Duel captures the essence of a gripping chase entirely shot on location. Amidst the intense pursuit, a notable scene unfolds featuring an Old West wagon bearing the sign Dr. Stringfellow's Rejuvenator Medicine Show. Interestingly, this wagon makes a cameo appearance in another production, the Night Gallery episode Dr. Stringfellow's Rejuvenator. During filming, the Federal Highway Administration's introduction of all yellow centerline road markings was timely. As Weaver traverses the roads, viewers catch glimpses of the recently painted yellow stripes, a testament to the transitional period in road marking guidelines during the early 1970s in the United States. In a notable scene, David Mann attempts to aid a busload of children, with the truck emerging from the tunnel, a setting previously seen in an episode of Barnaby Jones. In 1971, Spielberg's secretary introduced him to the story after encountering it in Playboy magazine. Spielberg commended the cautious handling of the truck by 50-year-old stunt driver Carey Loftin. Despite appearances, the truck never exceeded 30 mph on California's winding roads. Spielberg enhanced the speed illusion using a camera car from the 1968 film Bullet, coupled with strategic cliff backgrounds and upward angled shots. These techniques created the impression of swifter movement on screen. Some interesting tidbits about a classic movie from 1971 Universal Pictures made a TV movie called Duel longer for its theater release by adding more scenes with trucks. There's only one truck left from that time. In the movie, there's a pest control company called Greblapes Pest Control, which is just director Steven Spielberg's name spelled backward in a playful way. Back in May 1970, the FCC made a rule against radio prank calls like the one in the film. These details make the movie feel more real and fun to watch. The surviving truck is a real piece of history from the movie. The name of the pest control company is a clever little joke, and the FCC rule adds some context to a scene in the film. These facts help make Duel a classic thriller that people still enjoy today. In the wake of a major success like Jaws, Universal Pictures decided to re-edit a TV movie directed by Spielberg, hoping for similar success. However, despite a promotional campaign, it didn't attract audiences in theaters, likely because it had been available on TV for free for years. Interestingly, the license plate of the protagonist's car in Duel matches the cop car in another movie. Spielberg was already a fan of the writer Richard Matheson, known for his work in The Twilight Zone, before collaborating on Duel. When first screened in Europe, the TV movie received a theatrical release. Spielberg wanted David Mann's car to be red, so it would stand out in the wide shots of the desert highways. There is an elderly couple who drive by in a red car. The woman yells at the man to keep driving. A similar couple in a red car acts out the same ordeal in Back to the Future, of which Steven Spielberg was the executive producer. In a quiet neighborhood near Universal Studios, a young Steven Spielberg convinced a homeowner to let him film in their garage for $50. This garage, nestled in the Toluca Lake area, became the setting for the opening scene of Duel. Despite Spielberg's desire for Dennis Weaver in the lead role, Weaver's signing didn't happen until the night before filming. Richard Matheson's inspiration for the original short story came from a chilling encounter with a tailgating truck driver on a fateful day in November 1963. At a pivotal scene, Dennis Weaver reaches for the phone to call his wife at the gas station. Interestingly, the number he dials breaks away from the typical 555 movie prefix, being a valid number during the film's era. Within the minimalist narrative of the movie, David Mann and Mistress Mann stand as the sole characters adorned with names. This intentional decision adds a layer of personal connection amidst the tension unfolding on the open road. Contrary to studio preferences, Steven Spielberg opted for authenticity in filming the road scenes. Rejecting rear projection, he insisted on capturing the real essence of the journey in proper locations, contributing to the film's raw and gripping atmosphere. Immersing viewers in a tale devoid of excess characters and unnecessary embellishments, Duel presents a relentless pursuit on the road, skillfully balancing suspense and simplicity. In the film, there were different versions of the car. For the TV version, they used a car from 1970 with a powerful engine. In addition, they also used a car from 1971 with a different engine. Later, scenes were filmed with a car from 1972, which matched the timing of the TV showing. All three cars had the same wheel covers from 1971. Despite some small differences like the license plate, variations like these were common in other cars too. The main character drove a red car with a specific license plate. At the start of the chase, the car had only traveled a short distance. During a specific part of the chase scene, covering a distance of 10 miles, the time it took was precise. The average speed during this part of the chase was notable. Interestingly, calculations based on the visible speedometer confirm this speed. These details give insight into the cars and specific scenes in the movie. They show how the small details contribute to the story. Inspired by a real-life encounter with a bothersome truck, writer Richard Matheson scribbled notes on his personal mail, planting the seeds for what would become the movie. On the set, observing the filming at Chuck's Cafe, Matheson mistook the people inside for genuine customers rather than Spielberg's actors. Dennis Weaver, fresh from leaving the TV series Gunsmoke, took on one of his early film roles in Duel. In a notable scene, Weaver's character stops for gas, and the station worker walks away with a distinct stiff-legged gait, reminiscent of Weaver's Gunsmoke character, Chester Good. It was Dennis Weaver's portrayal and touch of evil that convinced Steven Spielberg that Weaver was the ideal fit for the role of David Mann in the tense, high-stakes narrative that unfolded on the screen. In the process of creating the movie, composer Billy Goldenberg had a tight deadline. He had only a week to finish the music, but despite the pressure, he made a soundtrack that fit the tense atmosphere of the film perfectly. During the intense scene where the truck crashes into the gate, there's a camera distortion, and you can see small pieces at the bottom right of the screen. Also, the shot is a flipped negative, which adds to the eerie feeling of the scene. The production of McCloud had to stop temporarily because Dennis Weaver, the lead actor, needed to take a role in another film. This unexpected delay caused a lot of changes in the schedule and how resources were used. However, Weaver's performance as the regular guy stuck in a dangerous game added depth and made the movie more exciting for the audience. Despite all the challenges, the team working behind the scenes stayed strong and focused on making a movie that would stay with people long after they finished watching. The final result was a suspenseful and tense film that showed the dedication and talent of everyone involved in making Duel. In the beginning, Steven Spielberg wasn't too keen on television, but as time passed, he realized how much it taught him about making movies. In Duel, even the small details matter. Take the truck's license plates, for instance. They're from different states, each with its own year. Spielberg felt a personal connection to the story because he understood what it's like to be bullied, just like the main character. All these little things, from the license plates to Spielberg's own experiences, make Duel special. They helped shape Spielberg's career and left a mark on the world of movies. During the chase, a parked sedan resembling a squad car briefly raised Dennis Weaver's hopes, but it turned out to be a service car for a past exterminator named Greblates, Spielberg spelled backwards. Actor Dennis Weaver did most of his own driving in the film. However, at director Steven Spielberg's insistence, a stunt driver was used to perform the more dangerous maneuvers and crashes. Since filming only took about 12 days, it remains Steven Spielberg's personal benchmark for how quickly he can shoot a film. Some scenes from Duel were reused in a 1978 TV episode. Steven Spielberg, unhappy over the recycling of footage, added a clause to his future contracts to prevent such occurrences. There are 2 audio versions of the gas station scene, varying in the sounds of the truck. Originally 74 minutes long, Duel was expanded to 90 minutes for theatrical release, with additional scenes shot by Spielberg, including the railroad crossing and David's call to his wife. Richard Matheson's story, originally published in Playboy, marked his final short story as he shifted focus to screenplays and novels afterward. In a scene where David Mann calls the police, Steven Spielberg inadvertently appears reflected in a telephone booth, a mistake he acknowledged during an interview on Inside the Actor's Studio. Spielberg admitted that similar errors emerged during the movie's European theatrical release, with 18 instances of his unintended cameos due to aspect ratio changes. Despite interpretations by European film critics highlighting abstract themes like class struggle in America, Spielberg himself sees the film as High Noon on wheels. In one scene of this iconic TV movie, when David Mann pulls into the Snakerama station, a red wagon can be spotted in the background with the inscription Dr. Stringfellow's Rejuvenator. Interestingly, this references a segment from Rod Serling's Night Gallery featuring Forrest Tucker and Lou Frizzell. Duel features a Peterbilt semi-truck as the antagonist, chosen by Steven Spielberg for its cab resembling a face among the 7 options presented to him. Initially, Richard Matheson considered having Mann's wife accompany him in the car, but later decided against it to maintain Mann as an isolated character, delivering exposition through narration instead. Tucked away in Santa Clarita, California, Chuck's Cafe still stands today, housed in its original building. Now, instead of the menacing truck that once roamed the highways, a French restaurant occupies the space. It's a charming spot, keeping the cozy feel of its earlier days as a roadside diner. The truck, once a source of fear, has transformed into a quirky local landmark. Covered in license plates from different states, it sparks conversations and nostalgic memories for those who remember its on-screen adventures. Most plates sport MC for motor carrier, while a lone New Mexico plate proudly displays HUP for highway use permit. These plates tell stories of journeys taken and states crossed, turning the truck into a symbol of curiosity rather than fear. It has become a reminder of the past, immortalized in film, and now part of everyday life in this bustling town. The truck's evolution showcases the passage of time and the ability to reinvent oneself. So, Chuck's Cafe and its truck continue to weave into the fabric of Santa Clarita's history, leaving an imprint on the memories of those who call this place home. The legend lives on, not only on screen, but also in the daily life of the town, inspiring new journeys. After premiering on U.S. television, Steven Spielberg expanded Duel into a feature film, which was released in Europe. While many only discovered Spielberg's name later through films like Jaws and Close Encounters of the Third Kind, for many Duel was already well known and associated with Spielberg's fame. In one scene, the truck's front bumper has train track rails laid sideways below the license plates. This detail adds a layer of symbolism to the tension-filled narrative. It's fascinating how some movies hold special meanings for the people involved. One actor, Dennis Weaver, loved a particular film so much that he made it a tradition to watch it twice every year. The director, Steven Spielberg, had an interesting perspective on this movie. He compared it to those big monster movies made by a company called Toho. Instead of a giant creature like Godzilla, though, the movie's menace came from a massive tanker truck, which made for a thrilling story. What sets this movie apart from Spielberg's others is its music. Unlike most of his films, this one didn't have the famous composer John Williams creating the soundtrack. It's similar to a few other Spielberg movies like The Color Purple and Ready Player One, where he went a different route with the music. So, Weaver's yearly tradition and Spielberg's unusual inspiration, along with the absence of John Williams' music, make this movie stand out in Spielberg's career. Considered briefly for the lead role before it became a TV movie, Gregory Peck was in the running. Lucille Benson, who played the lady at Snakerama gas station, also appeared as a gas station attendant in Spielberg's 1941. In addition, the elderly couple in the car were featured in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. At around 1:03 in the movie, a Chevrolet station wagon with manufacturer plates can be spotted. In Duel, the presence of multiple license plates on the truck's front bumper suggests the truck driver's sinister nature, hinting at a serial killer who preys on other drivers. Steven Spielberg's choice of Dennis Weaver for the role of David Mann was influenced by Weaver's performance in the 1958 film Noir Touch of Evil, where he portrayed a jittery, paranoid character who frequently used the phrase "another thing coming." Spielberg recreated this character for Weaver in Duel, particularly evident in the cafe scene when Mann nervously confronts the truck driver with the same phrase. Throughout the film, Mann's increasing paranoia is depicted by his frequent glances in the rearview mirror and over his shoulder. These subtle details add depth to the characters and intensify the suspense in Duel. In 1971, audiences were captivated by a TV movie that told the gripping story of a man chased by a mysterious truck driver on a deserted highway. What many viewers might not realize is the sad fate that befell one of its stars. The actor who played the lead role tragically lost his daughter in a car accident shortly after filming wrapped up. This real-life tragedy added an emotional depth to the making of the movie, highlighting the personal struggles faced by the cast and crew. The story revolves around a traveling salesman who finds himself relentlessly pursued by a menacing tanker truck driver on a remote stretch of highway. As the salesman's attempts to escape become increasingly futile, the tension escalates, leading to a thrilling climax. Directed by Steven Spielberg, the TV movie marked the beginning of his successful career as a filmmaker, despite its modest origins. Its clever camera work and gripping storytelling techniques continue to inspire filmmakers today. In summary, while the movie may be remembered for its suspenseful plot and Spielberg's early directorial talent, the tragic personal story of its star adds a poignant layer to its legacy. Its influence on cinema history is undeniable, making it a timeless classic. In 1971, a TV movie aired that left viewers shocked to learn it was initially rejected by network executives. Despite its gripping storyline and suspenseful direction by Steven Spielberg, Duel faced challenges finding a home until it was eventually broadcast on ABC. Its success paved the way for Spielberg's illustrious career in filmmaking, but behind the scenes there's a tragic fact that adds another layer to the film's history. During the filming of Duel, a member of the production team tragically lost their life in a car accident. The incident cast a shadow over the production, highlighting the real dangers of the road that served as the backdrop for the movie's intense chase scenes. Duel's impact on cinema and television remains undeniable, showcasing Spielberg's early talent and setting the stage for his future blockbusters. However, the loss suffered during its production serves as a somber reminder of the risks involved in bringing stories to life on screen. In 1971, a television movie captivated audiences with its suspenseful storyline and masterful direction. Amidst its production, an unfortunate incident occurred involving one of the stuntmen who faced severe injuries during a chase scene. This incident underscored the risks inherent in intense productions. The movie revolves around a mysterious truck driver relentlessly pursuing a man on a deserted highway, symbolizing the unseen dangers of everyday life. Its minimalistic approach intensifies the suspense, drawing viewers into the protagonist's unnerving journey. Directed by Steven Spielberg early in his career, the TV movie showcases his talent for tension building and visual storytelling. The sparse landscapes and absence of a musical score accentuate the isolation and vulnerability of the main character, creating a unique cinematic experience. Despite its simple narrative, the movie resonates with audiences due to its primal fear and the vulnerability of ordinary life. Its success marked a crucial step in Spielberg's directorial journey, paving the way for his future achievements. In the realm of television movies, it stands as a powerful example of straightforward storytelling executed with precision. Its tragic incident during production serves as a reminder of the sacrifices made in the pursuit of art. The impact of the movie endures as a milestone in Spielberg's career and a testament to the potency of its narrative.